Tonight, new details about sexual assault allegations against a powerful man. Wait, that line could accurately apply to a lot of things, to Harvey Weinstein, to Donald Trump, but tonight it's actually Bill O'Reilly under fire for settling a suit alleging, among other things, quote, non-consensual sex. The headline comes as 38 women stepping forward to accuse director James Toback of sexual harassment, which he denies. And it's all related to the larger fight over women's rights here in the Trump era. Tonight, the battle growing over as well. An undocumented teen who the Trump administration is trying to prevent from getting a lawful abortion in Texas, as well as Trump's latest memo that could spell disaster for women's reproductive health. I'm going to discuss all of this with Cecile Richards, the president of Planned Parenthood, right here with me on the beat live. But let's give you an update on the latest with Bill O'Reilly. This is really unusual. The New York Times with a blockbuster story of a $32 million settlement over sexual harassment allegations, which came from a former Fox News analyst. Now, to put this reported settlement amount in perspective, consider that a big wrongful settlement is a fifth of that, about $6 million. NBC has not independently verified this amount, and O'Reilly denies the allegations is lying, saying this to two New York Times reporters who broke the story.
We have physical proof that this is bull. Okay? This is horrible. It's horrible what I went through. Horrible what my family went through. This is crap. And you know it. It's politically and financially motivated. And we can prove it with shocking information.
That is part of O'Reilly's side, as well as his denials, which we've been reporting. For another side of this, we go to former Fox News host who came out today speaking on Megyn Kelly today.
I'm terrified. I'm actually terrified, and I don't know why I'm about to cry, but it's difficult. Many women go into the settlement agreement because they just don't want to face what potentially could be coming at them. Again, you're dealing with a corporation filled with people who are going to do everything they possibly can to make sure that they win, and you don't.
And I'm joined by, as promised, Cecile Richards. What is your accounting of all of these allegations stacking up and coming out?
Well, it's horrifying. I mean, beginning with the Harvey Weinstein stories and continuing on. I think, as you're seeing, of course, across the country, there's not a woman in America who isn't now reliving some experience. And I just really want to thank the women who have been brave enough and have had the courage to come forward. I think it is establishing how prevalent this is. And I think the frightening thing, and I know we'll get to this, is just actually how prevalent this may be now, even with the policies of the U.S. government. So
right. Well, and when women know that it's prevalent, that it's an epidemic, or that it is so prevalent, it is something that you sadly must get through and must deal with and get on with it in a work environment. What does it take to make men aware of how prevalent this is? Because there seems to be a group of people doing the predation, that's bad, and then a whole group of people who essentially are silently enabling it or in denial about how prevalent it is.
Well, obviously, we're concerned about, and we see this at Planned Parenthood every day. You know, we treat women who are survivors of sexual assault, of domestic violence. This is not a new issue. I think what's new is finally people are talking about it out in the open, and it has been good to see male allies speaking up. But to even have a government now that is denying women their most basic fundamental access to health care, to reproductive health care and reproductive rights, like the Texas case, makes it even more disturbing, because it really means, you know, and as you said, there's a young woman now in Texas who's really literally being held hostage by the Trump administration.
Walk us through this. You look at the headline here, and this is an undocumented individual who would otherwise typically have the right to at least medical treatment and care, which in this case, we can put the headline up right here. A detained immigrant asking the full appeals court to let her get this abortion. Explain what's going on.
Correct. You know, this is a young woman who was apprehended, was put into a shelter in Texas, found out very soon thereafter that she was pregnant, said immediately, I want to terminate this pregnancy, went through all of the judicial bypass that, of course, in Texas, it's very difficult for young women to get an abortion, was agreed to by a judge, scheduled for September 28th, and then the Trump administration began to get involved. And this woman is still being held hostage, denied her legal right to terminate a pregnancy. And that is, I mean, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
So are they trying to make an example out of her?
Well, I think she obviously is an example. There's now litigation going on, and a lot of folks are involved in trying to help make sure this young woman can get the health care she deserves. But what it's really, I think, exposing is who this has put in charge of our government. When you look at Scott Lloyd, who's in charge of young people who are in, unaccompanied minors and refugees, he has personally taken an interest in an effort to try to deny this young woman access to an abortion. In fact, told the center where she is living that she couldn't go and get the medical care, and in fact referred and insisted that she go to an anti-abortion center to try to talk her out of the decision that she'd made.
Also, a leaked memo from the Trump administration obtained by Crooked Media. They do podcasts and other things that they want to take money from women's health care and encourage people instead to do, quote unquote, fertility awareness birth control.
I know, Ari, and this is going to be hard because you're way too young to know about this, but back in the day there was something called the rhythm method, which was before women had access to birth control. That was you just
I'm happy to learn from you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you want
about things how they used to be.
I don't think you want to go this direction, but basically this memo that is leaked is saying they're going to try to keep women from using birth control now and instead use the rhythm method and hope for the best.
So that's crazy, right?
Well, what it really results in is, of course, millions of unintended pregnancies.
And isn't that, this is the thing, and I know you do this every day, isn't that what they're also opposed to?
Right. Well, the crazy thing, too, is that we're now at actually a historic low for teenage pregnancy in the U.S., 30-year low for unintended pregnancy because of the good work of Planned Parenthood and other folks that provide birth control. So they're really literally trying to undo that. And as you say, try to reduce the family planning program that millions of women rely on successfully to plan their families. So it's all part and parcel, I think, of an administration that have put people who are putting their own politics ahead of the health and well-being of women. And that's what's really scary.
We always learn. Having you on is like, it's like having a book.
I got a lot more where that came from.
We learn so much from you every time I get to talk to you,
Good to
Cecile.
see you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.